Hi folks, this is Miss Clarkson coming to you today to talk to you about the final process of telling the story of your personal project. At this point in the process, you should have completed your final product or have met your final goal and have evidence of having done that. You should have tracked what you did along the way in a process journal in a collection of assignments that were submitted on Canvas in first semester. As a reminder, all projects have three parts. The first of those is the process journal. That is a broad term for the evidence of your process, including all of the records you kept on your own and the checkpoints that you submitted on Canvas in first semester. You should have a final product or evidence of having met your final goal. What this looks like will depend on what your goal is. It may be pictures, documentation, a video, or a physical object. And finally, you will need to compile a final reflection. You will take the 4 written reflections that were submitted on Canvas during first semester and revise those, add to them, integrate your research, and submit them as your final report. The final report is organized based on the assessment criteria. The 4 written reflections that you should have already completed on Canvas in first semester form the rough draft of this reflection. This is your opportunity to tell the story of your project. In order for us to know what you did, you have to tell us. If you refer to the student handbook, pages 24 to 27, you'll find the assessment criteria and how the project's graded. The project can't be graded without the reflection. In order for us to assess whether you met your goal or didn't, we need to know what you did. So the reflection contains a variety of pieces. There are templates for how to format this, both on Canvas and on the personal project website. We'll discuss how to access those later. You should begin with a title page or title slide, and then a table of contents outlining the different areas of your reflection. If you're using a written format, the reflection is limited to 1,500 to 3,500 words. If you're doing a verbal report, which must be recorded, you're limited to 13 to 15 spoken minutes or 13 to 15 minutes of film. If you're doing a multimedia report, for example, a narrated slides PowerPoint, like this one, you are limited to 1,500 to 3,500 words, both spoken and written on the slides. You should choose a format that suits your abilities and interests. Regardless of the format, you'll need to cover all of the same information. If you do a video multimedia report, you will have to record yourself. You can use a screencasting app like this one, Screencastify, or use Flipgrid as a platform. Flipgrid videos are limited to 5 minutes, so you'll need to label the parts of your report carefully. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the different parts of the report. In the introduction, what you're going to do is talk about why you were initially interested in the project, what you knew about the topic of the project, and what you hope to achieve. On each of the following slides, you'll find instructions on what to say and where to find it. Much of the information that you need to talk about in this reflection, you already have. It just may not all be in one document. So please refer back to this PowerPoint to help remind you as you're working on the project report. In the investigating section of your report, you should define your goal, your prior learning, and show how you've demonstrated research skills. Research in the personal project is broadly defined. It can include both videos, interviews, any information that you found from another source over the course of the project. But it's important that you cite that. You can show evidence of having met those research skills by using the source evaluations that you completed on Canvas. What sources did you consult, and what did you learn from them? The second portion of the report is focused on the planning stage. This aligns with reflection number 2 on Canvas. In this section, you should explain how you developed the criteria for your product or outcome. You should document the sources of information that you found and demonstrate self-management skills. Self-management skills include things like time management and organization. These are important skills in the course of the project, and you need to make sure that you demonstrated those throughout the process. In the taking action section of your report, you should show how you created your product in response to your goal and global context. If you need reminders about this information, you can find your success criteria that you set for yourself on page 22 of the student handbook. In this area, you need to demonstrate thinking skills and communication and social skills. I want you to think here about how you used communication skills throughout the project and what you learned from others. Finally, you should reflect on the quality of your project. Do you think you were successful at meeting your goal? What was it that stood in your way if you perhaps weren't capable of doing everything that you thought you would be able to do? You need to reflect on how completing your project has extended your knowledge of your topic and your global context, and reflect on yourself as an IB learner throughout the process. Finally, you need a Works Cited page. The Works Cited page includes all sources of information that you cite during the course of the report. This is only the sources in the report. If you used additional sources, you may attach a bibliography as an appendix to your report. Tomorrow, or later this week in class, we'll talk about what appendices are and how to use them in your report. So today, what you're going to begin doing is compiling your report into the template and using the instructions that you're given in class and on Canvas. Tomorrow, or later this week, you'll be working on creating your appendices. Appendices are basically like extra chapters of the report, and they include 2 required areas. One of them is your final product, and one of them is your evidence of process. On February 18th, projects and reports will be submitted during Rocket Time. You'll be turning them in on turnitin.com and on ManageBack, where it will be graded. So now's a good time to pull up your reflections on Canvas. If you submitted these to the first semester classroom, you need to access your reflections by clicking on the Courses tab at the left and then clicking on All Courses. All Courses will show you all courses that you've ever been enrolled in, including last semester's. If you intend to do an oral multimedia report, it's essential that you plan it before recording. Please use the templates to help you do this. You can use the checklist on your handout to assist you in planning your response. So, for today, that's all the new information. Again, the process here is to take the reflections that you've already done, compile them into one document, or outline them into a video, and expand on them to show what you've learned throughout the course of the project. We'll talk about how to use appendices to supplement that later this week.